So during the course of arbitration, my experience started back in 1999 with arbitration, and I had a terrible experience with a player named Wilton Guerrero, who was Vladimir Guerrero's brother. And the experience I had was we made an offer to Wilton Guerrero. Wilton Guerrero said no. Vladimir Guerrero was upset that we weren't paying Wilton Guerrero enough. Vladimir Guerrero's agent went to our owner and said, "You're making Vladimir upset. Pay Wilton." And I said, we're going to go to a hearing with Wilton because he's asking for a number that is not realistic. He's not going to win. And Jeffrey, because he was worried about Vladdy, made us settle with Wilton Guerrero before a hearing. And that was the last time. For the rest of my career, we were what's called a file-to-go team. We started the concept where we said, and you can look up the history of this, there were very few teams doing it. There was no one doing it as strictly as we were doing it, which was if we exchange numbers with you, we are going to a hearing. So if you want to file an unrealistic number for yourself, please go ahead and do it. You're going to lose, and we're going to offer you less than our last offer to settle. What do I mean by that? Let's say you exchange on March 22nd, even though that wasn't the date. It was yesterday, but in other years it's not. And you're trying to settle with, pick a player, Aaron Judge. And you're negotiating with Aaron Judge and his agent up to the time that you exchange. If he were a Marlin, by the way. We'll talk about him as a Yankee and what happened yesterday with Aaron Judge. And we say, Aaron, our last and best offer is $17.5 million. And just know this, if you don't take it, you're not going to see it again. So then the player doesn't take it, and then we file below our last offer. So the Yankees filed $17 million in the Aaron Judge case. So Aaron Judge, by going to a hearing, is risking making $500,000 less than he could have made had he accepted. But the player will say to himself, I'm willing to take that chance because I'm filing for a number that is so far greater than what their last offer was. Aaron Judge filed at $21 million. The Yankees filed at $17 million. That's a $4 million difference. A difference like that, you better be damn sure there's going to be a settlement, because when you are a team that is filed to go and you never waver from that, there's never a $4 million difference. I want you to take a look. There's a website called Spotrac, and it lists all of the MLB arbitration filings, what the players filed and what the teams filed. And what you'll notice is the number of teams who are now filed to go all these years later, it's the majority of them. So Trey Mancini of the Orioles wants $8 million. The Orioles offered $7.3. That's an example. How about Lucas Giolito of the White Sox, a notorious file-to-go team? 7.5 is what Lucas wants. The team offered 7.3. Are they going to go to hearing over $200,000? We've gone to hearing with players over $150,000. Because if you say that you're a file-to-go team and then you settle after you file, then the next year, players won't believe you. Agents won't believe you. And they will not engage in a negotiation that will result in a settlement, and they will not file a number to go. They'll file a number to settle. What does that mean? When you file a number knowing that the team is not going to go to trial, you are filing a number to settle. Generally, these things settle at the midpoint. So Aaron Judge files at 21. The Yankees file at 17. I'll bet your Bippy there's a settlement around 19. It's called a midpoint settlement. Players who know they're going to get a midpoint settlement, by definition, are going to file higher in order to increase what that midpoint would be. We didn't want to do midpoint settlements because what they do is they actually move the salary structure up. Because once a player settles, or once a player wins or loses arbitration, meaning once a player has a salary, That's the salary associated with that player for all time going forward. And arbitration uses comps. So the next time there's a player like Aaron Judge, you're not going to read Aaron Judge wanted 21 and the team wanted 17. You're going to read what Aaron Judge's actual salary was. So the purpose of being a file-to-trial team, a file-to-go team, is that it squeezes the bid and the ask. It makes the gap as small as possible. So it's easy to see which teams are going to settle and which teams are going to go all the way to trial. But this year may be different. If I'm running a team this year and I know I've got the season starting, I really don't want to focus on an arbitration hearing. I don't want the player to leave spring training when he should be playing a game. I don't want the player to even leave a regular season game, even though that happened in 95, where some of the hearings happened once the season started. There are almost 30 players who exchanged numbers yesterday. Do you really think there's going to be 30 arbitration cases? 30 hearings? No chance, toilet pants. Here's what's going to happen. 2022 is going to be looked at as an exception. Teams that have always been file-to-go teams and have been completely strict 100% of the time will find a reason to explain away why they settled. They will say, don't think that we've changed our policy, but these are extenuating circumstances. We are going to settle, but not moving forward. Got it?